This year the Oscars took a hammering in terms of the lack of diversity with its subject matter and its awards. But here in the UK we like to think a little bit differently. The 2015 BAFTA'S have no less than 3 films featuring prominent gay subject matter. So, is it the pinkest year for British cinema? I should say so. First up, The Imitation Game. It wasn't just the Spitfire, Churchill tank or even the Americans that helped end the Second World War. It was a raving, closeted homosexual. The Imitation Game tells the true story of Alan Turing, played by dashing Benedict Cumberbatch, who in a repressed, wartime Britain ran by stuffy old farts actually builds the first computer that ends up cracking the military codes of those pesky Nazis, thus ending the Second World War by an estimated 2 years. And how does the establishment thank him? Well, I won't tell you the ending, but it has something to do with forced chemical castration, and there's nothing even his wishful fag hag, that girl from Pirates of the Caribbean, can even do about it. Next up is the film Lilting. On a much lighter note, Lilting tells the story of 2 loved-up gay Londoners. Things get lost in translation when one of them dies, and refreshingly not from a nasty STD, and his mother steps in to close his affairs, but doesn't speak a word of English.
Well, I wanted to see how you are. I think Kai... I was concerned, and I wanted to make sure that you're okay living here without Kai.
他想知道凯不在了，您住这里还好吗？
哦，你问他，他把凯的骨灰放到哪儿去了？
She wants to know where Kai's ashes are.
They're at home.
家。
我要凯的骨灰。
She wants to have his ashes.
No.
Cue all kinds of funny, heartwarming and tear-jerking moments as the surviving partner, played by soon-to-be megastar Ben Whishaw, tries to bond with his grief-stricken mother-in-law, but without much success.
Don't translate that. She doesn't know. She doesn't know that we were together.
Will they ever find any common ground using a hapless Google translator? You'll have to see it for yourself. And break out the feather boas. Pride tells another true story of how repressed 1980s gay rights activists helped raise money for the cash-strapped miners who go on national strike after uptight British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher shuts down all the mines.
To everybody. Name here the group or organization you represent, in this case.
Lesbians and Gay Support the Minors.
Quite absolutely.
Now, I'm hoping you can clear something up for me about lesbians.
Not now, Gwen.
It's something I was told in the covered market.
Let them get settled in first, shall we?
We raised this money because we want to help you.
Everything will be all right once they start to mix.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm just talking to Kev about something.
Get out there and find a gay or a lesbian right now.
I don't want the wrong impression.
All right, because you're so bloody irresistible.
Fantastic performances all around from movie heavyweights including Melissa Staunton, yes, Harry Potter, and Bill Nighy, and even Paddy Considine. It's hijinks, high drama, and high heels, all wrapped up in a sugar coating. But set to be a classic and politically important gay movie. Oh, and there's lots of funny jokes about lesbians in it.
Lesbian, are you, love?
That's right. We're just off to Swansea now for a massive layers off.
You see what we've done here? By pledging our friendship, we've made history. With this bounty of best British gay movies looking to shame the Oscars, and with a free lunch in mind, I set off to London's British Film Institute, but instead found better food for thought. Their head of communications and LGBT Film Festival programmer of 25 years, Brian Robinson. So Brian, what does the wide range of gay subject matter at the BAFTA'S this year tell us about changes in attitudes to LGBT cinema?
But I think we've come to a certain place of maturity that gay filmmakers have won Oscars. There have been hugely successful films with gay subject matter, 30 years ago, it was a minority interest. It was something that really only appealed, so the filmmakers and distributors felt, to a very niche and narrow audience, and they couldn't make money out of it. I think there have been moments, mainstream Hollywood films like Philadelphia, In and Out, Brokeback Mountain, I think they've built now. We expect a film to have a gay theme, to be about a gay subject. I think audiences really want to see their own lives reflected on screen, their stories, and there's a huge appetite for that, and filmmakers are responding to it.
Do you think we're entering a kind of golden era of diversity in movies at the moment?
I think people are definitely much more aware of issues around diversity than ever they were before. And in Britain, we have a new scheme here at the BFI, which is called the 3 Ticks scheme. And that means that any project won't get funding unless it fulfills the 3 ticks, which is that you have diversity in front of the camera, behind the camera, and on screen.
So the film Lilting, why do you think the BAFTA committee was so drawn towards that movie?
Lilting was a very subtle and well-written story. And I think in this world of new technology, people think you can get hold of a camera and it's easy to make a film. What Hong Kao did with Lilting was he prepared a very carefully written script. It was originally a theatre piece, and then he adapted it for the cinema, and it's really about love and loss, things which affect everyone of any orientation, gender or race.
So Alan Turing's story in Imitation Game, do you think that's a little bit too long in coming?
In fact, I was amazed that it took until the middle of the 1980s for the Turing story really to hit the mainstream. It's only really this film that has really captured people's imagination. It's not just a small, low-budget film. It's a big, important, international production with an actor of the quality of Benedict Cumberbatch and all the supporting cast. It's very clear that he is a gay man, and that's part of the story, and Hollywood sometimes wants to push things away, and maybe it isn't the film that every gay activist would want to see, but I think it's there, it's important, and it will make an impact.
Even with so many films having gay subject matter and characters, there's been accusations of conservatism, even a trend towards gay movies being made for straight audiences. Even I'm getting confused.
In the gay festival that I work on, over 10% of our audience are straight. Gay people enjoy seeing straight films. Why shouldn't straight people enjoy seeing gay films? We're all different as humans, and if you see films from around the world, films from a woman's perspective, films from a men's perspective, a gay perspective, it's just really important that different people's lives and motivations are understood.
So the movie Pride, this was clearly an important story that needed to be told, but the marketing was glossed over in some American marketing. So what's going on here? Are we moving forward or not?
All film distributors want to make the most money for their film. It's a business, and they must have taken a commercial decision to edit out some of the most obvious gay elements of the story in the hope that they would attract a wider audience. I think the important thing is that the film gets seen by the widest number of people. I think it's as important a film as Billy Elliot or The Full Monty. It's a broad comedy with a heart and a political message, and the more people that see it and understand it, then the better it is.
So who are the films and directors we should be looking out for in the next year?
Andrew Hay, who was a gay filmmaker who had his feature debut in our festival, went on to make the film Weekend, has got a new film with Charlotte Rampling, not a gay subject, but you know, that's the prerogative of any director. Aline Khan had a short in the festival called Diana.
It's such a shame because I don't think she ever believed it herself. She broke boundaries.
They loved her.
And gave strength.
She was the people's princess.
A story of a young transsexual in London's East End, and he's going from strength to strength with his new film, a short called Three Brothers. It's almost really exciting to see a filmmaker develop a career that goes wider than the lesbian and gay film festival world.
So we're here, we're queer, and we're coming to a multiplex near you soon. But even with the cash registers in the cinemas here filling up with money, pink pounds or not, it might make the Academy think a little bit more diversely with its awards next year. It's Max Barber, Pink 60 Plus in London.